And yes, it's still Freestyle Friday, right? How many times did Christ consciousness manifest in a physical reality? Question number 2. And it's still E5 for me, so don't get it twisted, right? The next question is Jesus Christ physical, right? Or is it an allegory for a level of for a level of consciousness, right? We can ask the same thing with Moses. Was Moses an allegory, or was it a level of consciousness that Moses acquired? I just would like to know the answer, right? Because Moses came down off the mountain, right? And he destroyed the statue, right? But why? Was it because the statue was harmful? Hey, or was it because he understood something different? Was he trying to raise their awareness? Because once you raise your awareness, then you can interact with any energy. So was he trying to raise their awareness? Or did he go up on that mountain and make a particular agreement for his group of people? Because y'all know I'm not with the preaching. But, I speak about a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything. Alright. I'm going to ask another question while I'm on here on the live, right? The statues or images. Was it a misunderstanding that one group had versus the other? Was it idol worshiping? Is the question. Or was it that these particular statues was logos that represented different vibrations? And if so, did these logos not exist, right, in other religious belief systems? I would just like to know. I feel like that's a good question. Because if we saying statues, right, and we talk about that idol worshiping type of situation, then there's groups of people that shouldn't, they shouldn't go visit the Madonna. They shouldn't visit the Virgin Mary. They should have no images of Christ. Because it's a consciousness, right? I'm just saying. I am just saying. I am just saying. I agree. I'm not answering a random question. I'm asking a random question. But I will answer a random question if you ask it. Again, there's many different systems, right? Attached to many different people in many different languages. But in all these different systems, there are people that perceive it on a physical level, right? Mental level, whichever dimension that person is stuck in, that's how they're going to see it. So 5 people could read the same book and come up with different answers depending on their understanding. Oh, okay. Alright, for example, if you read the book of Thoth, he said you had to read it 100 times in order to understand it. Why? Did he just expect you to understand it 100 times because you read it 100 times? No. If you still on the same vibration and you read it 100 times, then that's all you're going to get. But if you read it one time, go study, and try to understand it, come back, read it again, you're going to understand it on a different plateau. The same thing goes with the Bible, the same thing goes with the Quran, the same thing goes with the Book of the Dead, and any other, even in Ifa. Even in Santeria. There's people who use these systems for only physical manifestations, and then they write them in the ass later. Then there's people that come to these systems genuinely, and they continue to read it, and they continue to experience. But then there's this level of people that get stuck. So you'll have one argue that Jesus Christ was a physical human being. You have a group that says Jesus Christ was black, another group that says he wasn't, right? But if we go all the way back to the land that he came from, was he melanated? What is melanated? What is ether? All systems can be interacted with when the individual understands a universal principle. So did the allegory of Christ represent that he understood a universal principle? Even in Islam, was there a universal principle? Even with Thoth, was it a universal principle? Even if you look at it, in each one of these books it spoke about a particular way to eat, right? But was it saying that one group should eat the same as the other? I don't know. I ask these questions when I read stuff. When I'm trying to learn stuff. Even with tarot. If you understand the universal principles of the primary books, then you understand the tarot. And you understand any other form of divination. More questions. Is divination and dealing with these energies evil? Or is it just another way of creating fear so that we do not tap into these energies, which is our natural ability anyway? It's a part of our conscious and subconscious. It's a part of our intuition. So why would one say that we should fear it? Because most people take advantage of it and misuse it against others. People who are humble will not, even if they try to use it against them. That's why I don't do it. To disconnect from your ancestors is to disconnect from your intuition. To refuse to acknowledge these different energies is to refuse to acknowledge yourself. So, last question. Should we fear these vibrations and energies, or should we learn how to interact with them? If you learn how to interact with them, then I guess you still have the ability to manifest what you want into physical reality. Anyway, I'll see y'all later for Freestyle Friday. Deuces.